Sitting directly to my left is Mr. Cleo King. In the middle is Miss LaBrenda Marshall-Jones. And to my far left is Mr. Earl Cochran Sr. We'll begin with a 1-minute introduction by Mr. King, then Miss Marshall-Jones. I've got to get used to that. And then Mr. Cochran.
So, let me just say thanks to the chamber, thanks to the listening audience, and let me just give a recognition to God for giving me this opportunity to be here. But my name is Cleo King, born and raised in the city of Bessemer, an advocate of the city of Bessemer. I reside here for 28 years, a public servant, advocate, and I'm a candidate for the Bessemer City Council, asking for your support.
Thank you. Mrs. Jones.
Good evening. My name is LaBrenda Marshall-Jones. I have been a resident of Bessemer for the last 22 years. I'm originally from a small town, Dolomite. I attended our public school, Jefferson County system, graduated from Pleasant Grove High School in 1977. Located here in 1988, had a home build and absolutely love the city of Bessemer. Would like to be the public servant that I am and the advocate for this city. I have enjoyed my stay here. I'm a mother of 2 grown children. McKeel Kemp is 28, Justin is 25. I have a grandbaby, and I'm excited about tonight, and I want to thank the chamber for this opportunity to present myself to you.
Thank you. Mr. Cochran.
Thank you. And to the chamber and to all of you, each of you who have come out tonight, I thank you for having come. And at this time, I would like to say I have enjoyed working these 4 years with the council. But however, I'd like to say prior to having been voted in as your council person in 2006, I worked with the city and especially with the school system. I would like to continue to work with the school system. I would like to continue to work as your city council. And more than all, I am your full-time. I will give you the same 8 to 10 hours a day that I gave this past 4 years. Thank you. Vote me back in, and we'll continue to work for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll proceed with 3 questions. We'll begin with Ms. Marshall-Jones, and then Mr. Cochran, and then Mr. King with the first question. Ms. Jones, do you feel city council members should be financially accountable with respect to the finances of the city? Then it says, please explain.
Emphatically, yes. I think that we, as public servants, we should be transparent to our constituents, our taxpayers, and we should be able to give an account for the entrustments in our hands for its funds. In explaining that, if we're having a discussion about ad valorem taxes, understanding what the purposes and the allocations are for through neighborhood and community meetings, we should be able to take that to our constituents and give an explanation how we vote, how we represent their interests for what they have entrusted their monies to. I think the transparency is needed, and I start with myself with open communication and making myself available for any questions for its budgetary monies or any other things that they would like to know from me.
Thank you. Mr. Cochran, I'll restate the question. Do you feel city council members should be financially accountable with respect to the finances of the city? Please explain.
Yes, I do. This is the council's department, and these past 4 years we have worked very hard to try and be accountable for those financial funds that come through our department, through the city department. In fact, I personally have gone to the mayor and asked him if he would, whatever the needs are in the finance department, let's update that department so that we will be able to, whatever the needs are, whatever you need to know in finance, that they would be readily exposed to us. But that has not been the situation. So what we need to do is get our accounting department up and running and bring it up in the 21st century. That's our problem. We are not currently ready to be able to give that kind of report to the city. So we are preparing and making ourselves ready to do such a job and a better accounting department. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. King, do you feel city council members should be financially accountable with respect to the finances of the city? Please explain.
Certainly. Accountability is one of my main topics, as far as being active, accessible, and accountable. I think that if we had had some type of program and instituted already, we would be better off right now. We all should be accountable, and whomever, whether it's from our clerk's office or whomever, we will institute that and as being accountable. And I think that we will make sure that we, as far as our financial audits, we'll make sure those individuals are held accountable who will bring in those expertise and bring those in. That way we'll be better off.
Thank you. Second question. We'll go with Mr. Cochran first, and then Mr. King, and then Ms. Jones. What is the number one issue facing the city of Bessemer, and how would you address it? Mr. Cochran.
Thank you. The number one issue in the city of Bessemer as we speak is revenue. We need revenue in the city of Bessemer. Until we are able to bring in some means of bringing in new monies into this city, we will fail to be able to do jobs or infrastructures, name it. Whatever you are talking about out there, until we come up with a plan to do revenue, we will not be successful. So that is the main need in our city today. And as we speak, I have in the past, even though it was not accepted, tried to bring revenue in. I do have another plan by which we are going to bring revenue into this city. And we are working every day on that new idea. And as much as we failed on the bingo, bringing it in, which would have brought a $1.7 million in a month. So we didn't succeed there, but we do have something else on the table. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. King, I'll restate the question. What is the number one issue facing the city of Bessemer, and how would you address it?
Right now, I think the number one issue is what's facing the city of Bessemer is a lack of communication. First of all, we have to change the image of the city of Bessemer. We've got to conduct ourselves in a manner where we all, from a council standpoint and to the mayor, that we all have to set the example. That way individuals will come in, that way we'll have finances, revenue coming into the city. One thing that I would like to institute is that as my colleagues, once I'm elected, we all make a pledge from council, mayor, and school board, all those entities around, that we pledge that we are set and ready to work together.
Thank you. Ms. Jones, what is the number one issue facing the city of Bessemer, and how would you address it?
I think the number one issue, and it's obvious to us, is the sluggish economy that we have. And I think in order to promote the economy, we have to be able to court new businesses, and therefore you must work with your Chamber of Commerce, your community and economic development boards. You've got to have your council in unity and oneness to even stand with a united front to show that you are together to move the city forward. In order to bring in the businesses, you've got to have a sound base with your educational base. Therefore, it takes the council, the mayor, and the school board working together as a community for our citizens, and the representation that we need to even have businesses to look at us. I think it's important that we generate revenue, and the only way to do that is to work with our Chamber of Commerce. And I'm not just saying it because you guys are here, but I think it's important for all of us to come together in order to move the city forward.
Thank you.